Hello, time traveler. We've been expecting you. I'm from the past, and we must tell you about this great new book a friend wrote after witnessing the tale of a man traveling into the future.
Ah, yes, I was there too. It was a regular evening a couple of years ago. Our friend, he shall be known as the time traveler, was discussing us with the matters of particle physics. You must follow me carefully. You see, the geometry you were taught at school was not necessarily correct. A cube having length, width, and thickness cannot have a real existence.
There I object. Of course all real bodies must exist. You see, all things here...
So most people think, however, instantaneous cubes exist. Clearly, any real body must have extension in 4 directions: length, width, depth, and duration. There are really 4 dimensions, 3 in space and 1 in time. It just happens that our conscious moves with the 4th dimension.
If time is only a 4th dimension of space, why can we not move in time as we move in other dimensions of space? You cannot get away from the present.
That is the gem of my discovery, you see.
That is against reason.
Hold on, let me explain the object of my investigations to the 4th dimension. Long ago, I had a vague idea of a machine which could travel indefinitely in any direction of space and time as a driver determines.
Let's see your experiment anyhow, even though it's a humbug.
Well, of course, this is a model. It was done and it took 2 years to make.
Clearly there is some sort of trickery involved.
No, when I have the real large time machine finished, you will see I am not a quack.
Skeptical, several people returned the following week to hear more about the strange and quirky machine present in the laboratory of the scientist.
It's 7:30. I suppose we better have some dinner. It's rather odd. He left me a note to have dinner at this time if he wasn't here. He says he'll explain later.
What happened to you? Do you require medical attention?
Don't let me disturb you. I'm alright. Please, let me clean up. Save me some mutton.
Remarkable behavior from an eminent scientist.
Surely this is some kind of trick.
Dinner is served. Where's my mutton?
Where's my story?
I won't speak a word till I get some meat in my arteries. I'm sorry, but anyways, I had a most amazing time. Now, I must tell you everything, uninterrupted. I was in the lab since 4 in the morning, but in my spare time, I have lived 8 days.
I gave it a last tap, tried all the screws again, put one more drop of oil on the quartz rod and sat myself into the saddle. I suppose a suicide who holds a pistol to his skull feels much of the same wonder as I began the initiation sequence. Every minute marked a day. The slowest snail that ever crawled by me dashed by too fast. The lab seemed to turn to the hillside, and I saw the moon spinning swiftly through all of her phases, and the sun became a streak of fire. The seasons changed before my eyes, and it seemed to melt before me. Faster and faster they flew, and I saw amazing architecture running before my eyes.
I mean no harm. Of course, those little creatures hid his time machine, and he could not persuade them to get it back.
I do recall he made a friend, a young woman by the name of Vwina.
They led me inside a large temple, with many large tables with pillars of fruit-like objects. The place, containing a sphinx-like creature, seemed to be a place of worship for them. The overall structure had a ruined and murky appearance. Many of the creatures watched me as I ate with them. I found the creatures to be like children, losing interest quickly and living with no concept of fear or distrust. The world was free of pests, troubles, or worries of any kind. The humans lived in communes, advanced structures, and the old relics. The beings lived a life of leisure, and I never saw the hardships of the society. Soon I realized that these mysterious creatures were called Morlocks, and the kind race I was familiar with were the Eloi. The Morlocks were feared and hated by the Eloi, and I took a position with them. There was an altogether new element in the sickening quality of the Morlocks, something inhuman and malign. With the coming of the new moon I could only sense that Weena increasing in anxiety. I was only the next morning I could pierce the horrible truth together. The Eloi were the cattle of the Morlock Society.
Back, I say. Back, I say, back. Back, I say. Back, I say. Look, my time machine.
Upon the return of the time traveler, many of the guests, including myself, felt that we had been scammed, and we proceeded to quickly challenge his theory. As his first piece of evidence, he gave us 2 flowers he said he had picked from the future. We deemed this insufficient, so he led us to his lab, where he proceeded to time travel into the future. I saw him vanish before my very eyes in a stream of wild lights. Although he said he'd only be a half hour, no one has seen him for 3.5 years.